Hi everybody, this is Jaya Victoria, the Energy Queen, and thank you for watching my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 major life-changing tips to invigorate or reinvigorate your feminine energy, especially at this time heading into 2025. I'll be honest, there's a lot of change going on, and one of the biggest balances happening in the entire universe within each of us, but also everywhere, is the feminine rising, the feminine getting its due, like getting treated the way that it deserves to be treated. And this is not about masculine energy not being important. It's literally about there being an imbalance, and feminine energy needs to rise so that there's a balance. So these are 3 tips. Inside of you, you have your own feminine and masculine. These tips are mostly geared toward women, if you identify as a woman, because again, the feminine is what needs to be strengthened right now. So if you're not a woman, if you don't identify as a woman, that's okay. You might still love these tips, but let's get started and you'll see what I'm talking about. So for a lot of women, the first tip I have is that you think that, like, the whole definition of what feminine energy is wrong. If you even see people talking about feminine energy, or you want more feminine energy, or you hear about all the benefits of feminine energy, like, there really are so many. But not understanding what that is gonna make it harder for you. So I want to tell you what feminine energy is. It's an energetic recipe. And the 4 ingredients are presence, your presence, pleasure, joy, or sorry, I was going to say pleasure/joy, self-value, and your purpose, like the reason why your spirit is here. So that's what feminine energy really is. It's those 4 things. So if you build any of those 4 things, you will have more feminine energy. Like, literally, if you just become more present, you will have more feminine energy. Literally, if you just have more fun in your life, you will have more feminine. You see what I mean? If you treat yourself better, or if you really focus on the reason why your soul is here, you will have more feminine energy. Your feminine in general is about the spiritual aspect, the energetic aspect of you. And again, we all have both. You have your masculine aspect, which is the physical, which is your day-to-day life, all the physical things, the schedule, the time, the organization, the logic. But the feminine is everything that is not that. But they are equal. And so when you're going about your day in your life, one other tip is to stop thinking that everything is just about your schedule and the physical world. It's not. That's still important. But those 4 things are important too. How do you feel about yourself, and how present are you in your life? That will really impact your health, your relationships, your mental health, a lot of things, your productivity, and your purpose. Are you even, while you're you're surviving in the world, are you even, living out the purpose of why your spirit's here? And are you having fun? So that's the ingredients. And what stems from that is going to be like a mini masterclass. It's like, what stems from that is makeup, hair, all the things that we consider classic feminine. Because why are these things, earrings, makeup, why are these things feminine? Because these are things that you can only enjoy in the present. They're about pleasure. They make you feel good about yourself. You see how that hits 3 of the top ingredients of feminine energy. So that's why makeup, hair, clothes, feeling sexy, feeling confident, like, those are all from those ingredients. So that's why you might think that, oh, I'm just going to get my nails done, I'm going to have more feminine energy, or I'm going to, I don't know, whatever it is, go shopping. It's not separate from feminine energy, and you will feel more feminine. But what I'm saying is, the point of feminine energy is deeper than that. It's not just about those surface things, and they're not bad. Trust me, I just went and got a haircut. Like, these things matter, but they're not the full picture. So that's why I'm saying, if you're looking for more feminine energy, don't just think I have to go shopping and I have to look a certain way. And if I don't look a certain way, I'm failing at it. there is no picture of what you're supposed to be like. All you have to do is build these 4 things. And sometimes having, again, jewelry makes you feel good about yourself. That's self-value. That's, joy, I forgot the word. See, laughing, that's part of it. Pleasure, that's the word. It's just fun. That's just fun. And so that's the second ingredient, which is what I just forgot. Pleasure. And also being present, makeup, hair. These are things you can only enjoy in the present. That's why they're feminine. That's why candles are feminine. That's why perfume is feminine. See how that works? So it's about building those 4 ingredients. It's not about having to look a certain way. Does that make sense? And it's about expressing those 4 ingredients: presence, pleasure, self-value, and your purpose in the way you live. And I want to point out purpose for a second too before I move on, because listen, feminine energy, especially even among people who are spiritual and stuff, because I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, I know a lot about what people are saying. And the mistake a lot of people are making is by saying that, like, I have too much feminine energy and I'm not getting anything done and I'm just resting all the time. And again, resting could be building your presence. So that could be a way of building feminine energy, but feminine energy is not just about sleeping, you guys. I have found if you're doing all the first 3, but you're forgetting to live your purpose, you will be missing something. That's why there's 4 ingredients. There's not like 1 and 2, like there's 4. And actually 4 is the feminine number, the number that represents feminine energy. So focus on all 4. You can build any one at any time. Like you can pick any one and build that. You will have more feminine energy, trust me. But don't forget the 4th one. Don't leave that out. Because if you're, for example, trying to do all the other things, but you're not even living like your purpose, if you're not even doing anything about the reason why you're here on earth, you will be missing something. And I want to touch on when people say I have too much feminine energy. That's not possible if you identify as a woman. Why? Because women's energy, you have your feminine, I'll put that here, and your masculine. When you build your feminine energy, what she naturally does, this is a very sophisticated spiritual technology, your feminine energy in the energy world. So she doesn't mess up, this is the smart part of you. When you build your feminine energy, what happens is she will bridge with your masculine, meaning you can't have too much because she'll always bridge with your masculine when she is restored. So when she's restored, which is kind of like turning on a Wi-Fi connection, honestly, it's like on or off. When your feminine's on, what happens is you become receptive, you start receiving things. That's one way that these two connect. In the physical world, your masculine's, the masculine itself will start supporting her, but also you will receive insight. You'll receive guidance. You'll receive what to do and when. And that's how she bridges with your masculine, which is the actions you take in the physical world. So the mistake a lot of women make is burning out, meaning you put your masculine first and you kind of let this wither. You become very imbalanced. But if you build your feminine first, you put the emphasis there. As a lifestyle, you can't have too much because she'll always bridge with the masculine. You'll always be receiving guidance. You will never, if you give yourself like 5 days off, for example, and you're not going to do anything, and you really focus on building these 4 things, like you just, give yourself the rest you need, get present, do things that make you feel good, do things that make you feel good about yourself, and think about why are you here on earth, do some journaling and really start to ask those deep questions. I swear to you, you will not be able to not be productive, because after you get restored enough, it might take a few days depending on how burned out you are, but there will be a point where you will start cleaning your house. You will start making a phone call. You will start Googling or researching things that matter to you, and you will have all this energy all of a sudden. And so you will never have too much feminine. And if you find yourself in a place where you feel lethargic and you feel like, well, I am building my presence, I am resting, I am doing all the feminine things, and I'm not getting nothing done, and I have no money, whatever. Like, listen, that's usually because you're either leaving out your purpose, you're not doing anything or thinking about why you're here on earth, so you are just sort of like floating. That's why that's important. Or you might be dealing with depression or negative energy inside of you that's kind of trying to keep you down. And so it's almost like a disguise, like telling yourself, I'm in bed all day because I'm building my feminine energy, when really, and there's nothing wrong with going through this, by the way, I've been there, but really you have negative energy inside of you that needs to be cleared. And so it's almost disguising itself, saying, oh, you're building your feminine, when really it's trying to get you to not live your purpose. It's trying to get you to not be productive, to not feel motivated. And so that's why that pinky, the purpose, is really important to always include, because if you are authentically building your feminine energy, and how that looks is you have to have the intention behind it. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to take 5 days off and like be depressed. I think they call it rot girl in social media or whatever. Like, you can totally do that. But if you do it with the intention of, I'm going to build my feminine energy, I'm not just going to like rot necessarily, I don't really love that word, then it's like you'll be doing a process instead of waiting around for something to change. And that it's a very different energy that you're in. So I hope that explains a lot. That's sort of a long precursor to what I wanted to get into. But one of the most important things I want to tell you about all this is that these are a lot of things that I've said before and a lot of people already know. But not all of them, I'll be honest. But because a lot of my work is really unique because I see the energy world. That's how I figure these things out and all the connections. But what I want to say on top of this, I want to add a new layer. And that's this, that even if you're doing all these things to build your feminine energy, I think still when we think of feminine energy, we think of makeup and hair and confidence and, whatever that picture conjures for you. But what I really wanted to say here is that it's deeper than that. Feminine energy, if you just want to build your feminine energy, even if you're not going to take time off, but just in your daily life, you want to just like have more, you can wear the lipstick, you can get the jewelry, you can get your nails done, get your hair done, get the clothes, whatever. But the spirit of feminine energy, like I said, it's not those things, it's these things. And another layer to that is feminine energy is about freedom. It's about being free. Because I have talked to a lot of people who, they want clear energy. They want more feminine energy. They know it's the answer for them. And yet they're like trapped in a marriage that they're not happy in. And they're like not ready to do anything about something like that. But I want more feminine energy. I want clear energy. And it's like, you can't, like, the feminine needs to have freedom. Like, that's really, really big. You have to give yourself that. And if you're in a situation where you feel controlled or you feel not free, you have to realize that that is affecting your feminine energy. You have to feel empowered. You have to feel free. You have to feel powerful. And you have to believe in yourself. And if you see a lot of characters in movies and books, like a lot of the characters that have a lot of feminine energy, you'll notice they also have that quality, which is not hair and makeup and nails and, all those things, but it's there. And one of my favorite movies is Legally Blonde, because in that movie, Elle Woods, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. And even if you have seen it, rewatch it. And notice how she loves all the makeup and hair and all those things. And that's why I'm saying you don't have to reject those things. I obviously love them. But there's also a sense of believing in yourself. There's a sense of freedom. There's a sense of empowerment. and fearlessness too. When I was younger, there was a magazine called YM, if anybody remembers YM. It's so long ago, I'm actually like, is it even called YM? But I'm pretty sure it was called YM. I think Young and Modern was what it stood for. But I think it was YM had fun and fearless female. They would do this once in a while. They would have this picture of like a movie star. I think it was YM. Anyway, if anybody knows, don't even tell me, because it was like years ago. But, well, you can tell me if you want. But listen, like, it was like a picture of a movie star. But what I loved about it and why it stuck with me was it wasn't about how pretty they were. And it kind of was. But I think it was actually, they called it the fun, fearless female. Fun, fearless female. And I was like, I don't know why, I just love this so much. Because it was something I was used to seeing, as you probably are too, used to seeing images of beauty representing feminine energy. And you'll see them everywhere in the media. Why? Because they sell. You think sex sells, it's feminine energy. You put feminine energy with anything, people will buy it. Why? Because we really need feminine energy. Like, that balances off, we really need it. So we'll buy things, if you put a woman who has feminine energy beside it. And even sex itself is included in the feminine because it's pleasure, right? So it's really about feminine energy. And, we're so used to seeing these images all the time. That's what draws us in. But I loved the idea of fun, fearless female because it included something deeper, just like I'm talking about. It's more than the hair and the makeup. Fun, fearless. I think the fearless was what really caught my attention as a young girl. I was like, they're celebrating something here that I feel like I can be, because everybody has the ability to be fearless. You have the ability, the unlimited ability, even to be fearless. And are you using it? Because if you're trying to build your feminine energy, but you're keeping yourself stuck in places where you're not free and you don't feel fearless and you're not exercising that right, how are you going to be the most feminine version of yourself? And I mean that in a good way. And again, being feminine isn't about being a certain thing, but it's about activating this energy inside of you that is powerful and that brings things to you and that gives you ideas and gives you energy and gives you motivation. And your feminine really wants you to live your purpose. She will fight for you. So if you are somebody that is trying to build your feminine energy, but you're not willing to be free, then what my message is that is important. And it's important because you are free to activate your freedom. You're free to exercise your right to freedom. You're always free. And it's an illusion that you live under that will suppress you and suppress your feminine energy, suppress all the good things it brings you. Because remember, feminine is receptive. And if you're in a situation where you don't feel free and you're telling yourself there's nothing you can do about it, that's going to be inhibiting your whole feminine vibe. Does that make sense? So I'm not saying you have to quit your job. I'm not saying you have to even leave relationships, but you have to find a way to not actively agree with oppression. And the crazy part is, I don't even think, I mean, in some cases there is oppression, but in general, the mistake that we've made is thinking that it's the masculine's job to do what's right for us, to stand up for us, to treat us well. I think that it's our job to say what we deserve and to choose that for ourselves and to not be a victim of whether anybody else does that or not, because we can't control anybody else, but we can control ourselves. You can control yourself. So even if you stay in the marriage, well, how can you be free because you are free inherently? How can you not be there and be a victim? How can you be free? Or maybe you do need to leave, or whatever that feels like for you. How can you maybe be in it if you need to, or leave if you need to, but how can you just activate your freedom? Because again, that's the total illusion that you're not free. You're totally free. You can do whatever you want, anytime, at all times. And you need to exercise that right. And one of the energies that will inhibit your ability to receive the most is victimhood. So you have to cut that out. We're not victims. We are free. Okay. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that this helped you. I'm going to be honest. I had so much to say. This is a whole video on the first tip. I'm going to have to do a part 2. But thank you so much, and keep your eye out for part 2. I want you to know that I am doing a new program. You can work one-on-one with me starting in 2025. It's called New Life, and this is a program to help activate your feminine energy through coaching, through getting your energy cleared with me. Because a lot of times when you're trying to activate your feminine, if there's negative energy in you, that inhibits the activation. It can make it difficult or make it more strenuous and longer. So if you would like energy clearing, that will naturally help balance your feminine, activate it, and balance it with your masculine. And that's a 3-month program, and it's called New Life. I'm really excited about it. If you want to know more about it, you can email me. I'll put my email in the comment or in the description. And anyway, I'd love to hear what you thought about this and if it helped you. Thank you so much for watching.